What is up everybody, Bladesphere here, and today I have for you guys another video of Persona 5X. Inside today's video guys, we're going to be talking about should you be summoning or skipping on Mont here. Now this is a very interesting question. A lot of you guys have been asking me this quite a lot, so of course we're going to be addressing this immediately today. And if you guys like videos like these, be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Helps me out quite a lot. We're nearing at least 3.7k and we're going to be trying our hardest to hit 4k before the end of the year. If we can do that with all you guys' help, which so far y'all have been doing amazing, we're definitely going to be doing a huge giveaway, so look forward to that. I might be doing a couple battle pass giveaways, we may be doing a couple things like that, so really do keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and get straight into it. Now Mont ended up dropping yesterday night on TW as well as KR, and holy crap, there was a lot of stuff. There's just a lot of things that we have to take into account with this entire thing here, and if I'm being dead honest, this character is actually pretty darn good. I just did do the video earlier this morning for you guys, if I'm correct, and my translator is not working for a second, but anyways, I did do the video earlier this morning and it was fairly nice. So far I figured out how this character does work, and now that I figured out how it works, I've finally gotten to a point where I can kind of give a decent review on the character. Overall, she is a follow-up sub DPS for the most part, but she can be a main DPS person if you do have more dupes here with some destructive follow-up type damage. This character herself, of course, does swap between the wind and ice damage, at least elements here, and one of them is mainly as a sustained helper, while the other one is mainly as that sub DPS or main DPS, depending on how you can really get her built and duped out. And to be honest, she's pretty darn good. She's not really that bad. She's really good here. But the real question at stake is, should you summon or skip? And if I'm being honest, we're going to go ahead and play devil's advocate real quick. I'm going to speak for the whales, or speak for people who kind of spend a little bit. This character I feel like is very useful, especially seeing we don't have a wind 5-star just yet, so you can very well take advantage over that. And the option that she can swap between wind and actually ice can help out not only in guild boss, but also help out in SOS, furtherly making this character actually a little bit worth it. When it comes down to people who are slight spenders like that, I definitely feel like this character is definitely worth it. She doesn't take high investment. Her 5-star weapon is pretty darn good, but it's not crazy necessary to make her absolutely good as well. You could very well use her 4-star and still have a really good time with actually fighting, or at least dealing some good damage here, because the 5-star is pretty darn decent as well. Now, the one thing I say with this character, she is a very low investment when it does come down to, at least free to play wise. But when it does come down to like the high tier damage like type deal, you will need to highly invest into this character, and that's going to make her deal like some crazy damage markers off of those little follow-up attacks that she's able to proc. This character overall, if you do end up spending, I feel like it's definitely a thing that you should go ahead and look into, but that's only if you're spending. If you are being a little bit of a free to play, that's where things kind of get into a little bit of a way here. Now we played devil's advocate for quite some time here. Let's go ahead and play a little bit of actually free to play reasons, and the reasons why I feel like a lot of you guys should not be going for this character as a free to play. Although she does cover 2 typings here, being at least ice and wind, many of us do have a ice DPS, which is sometimes Yusuke. If you don't have Yusuke, you probably have the 4-star Mont, which can handle herself with some mediocre damage. She still can handle herself pretty darn well. I feel like if you already have that, that kind of takes away some of the need of actually using that character, in which that's just mainly my viewpoint on it, though of course some people may disagree with that. I do have to say though, for this team, or for most of her teams, they aren't really ultra flexible, right? You need certain things to make them work, or at least certain things to really get the most out of them, which is, I feel like, a reasoning why most free to play should probably dodge off this character. She is really good, but as a sub DPS one, that's already one thing you can kind of get rid of, because many of us are really caring about the main DPS of our teams while also caring about at least the supporters and healers, right? So if we go ahead and take a look at that, she doesn't deal as much damage as that, kind of devaluing her a little bit. Though, if, as I did say, heavily invest here somehow as a free to play, she could be very well worth it. But if you go ahead and look at the other side for the free to plays here, most free to plays, if we go ahead even with just 4-star Floret, you can deal some hefty damage without even having her. So it kind of really just keeps her in that mode of she's a sub DPS. There's not really a huge need to get her, and it does take some quite interesting criteria to actually make her really good as well. So that's just going off at least the team standpoint. Now the other standpoint that really makes me see for most free-to-plays not to go for this character is actually based on the upcoming characters here. Now although she is kind of our first 4-star, right, or I mean our first 5-star wind, the issue comes down to the 5-star actual category for ice is already covered, so that devalues one of her side. As for the 5-star for wind, yeah, there's no one there, but you just don't need it. You really don't have to have it, seeing that she's already a sub DPS and not a main DPS. But the upcoming things that make her even devalued even more is that we know down the line, not only are we getting a new standard character, which is a 5-star fire debuffer, which many of us are going to skip, but we also are going to have a single target DPS being Azumi or Violet, Sumire, whatever you guys want to go ahead and name her as. That's what we usually are going to be getting down the line. This has been confirmed, so we already know Mont happens, and then immediately Dogenzaka, then we get Sumire. With that in mind, you technically have like a month of saving, especially when it comes down to TW. I don't think she should be here till at least January for us, so it does give us some time to kind of have a little bit of a wiggle room. With that in mind though, be sure to save. I feel like it's going to be way more worth it to go ahead and get her, especially for many of the people out there who probably didn't invest for summer closer. This will be a really good actual main DPS character, most likely, with Akechi then following up to be most likely a sub DPS or somehow assisting Kazumi as well. So surely do keep that in mind. So if you pull for this character, there's a likely chance that a lot of your materials that you are going for this character might not be available in the long run. So surely do keep that in mind. It is kind of just something that you have to take a little bit of a gamble on, but I would highly suggest you guys, if you feel like you don't exactly need this character, to take a step back before going ahead and just utilizing this, because I feel like it might be a little bit of a pain in the butt. But that's just how I view that little viewpoint there. But that's mainly just me. Some of you guys may see it actually worth it. Now for another reason for free to play is why I feel like you just genuinely shouldn't summon this character isn't anything really bad about the character. She's a pretty darn solid character. She gets a lot of things done. And really it's really like a decent character. The only reason why I see this is another character with Mont here, or at least Mont herself, is I feel like more of a character you would go for if you just like the character for the most part, or if you're a collector. Because the most reasons that most of us will be pulling for this character is not only just liking her, but it's also going to be for SOS and Guild Boss. If you're not really going for SOS and Guild Boss like that, there's not really a huge reasoning to get this unless you're just maybe planning for future dungeons that possibly could do something like this where she needs to swap elements. But most of the times you probably won't have to do that. So surely do keep that in mind and just make sure you have other options available. But all in all, if you're free to play, I would highly suggest you guys to go ahead and skip. As good as she is, I do feel like preparing for at least Sumire and Akechi will be more likely needed, seeing we don't know if Akechi's going to have a spacer in between or not, or either at least trying to invest in something else. Maybe if you're more free to play here, especially if you're brand new, I would definitely suggest, instead of investing into her or investing into this, all of you guys, if you don't got Cord, get Cord. If you don't have like what's it called, if you don't have Smoko, get Smoko, because she actually got a buff. She's pretty decent as well now, or even better. Like some of these characters here, if you don't have Makoto, get her, because these characters are absolutely amazing. They're all really good characters. So I would highly suggest try to invest into those and over Mont. It's not that she's bad, it just comes down to a bad timing with the characters that we do have out and characters that are upcoming. But you guys let me know down below what you think about this, at least whole comment and this opinion. Of course, at the end of the day, you have fun, enjoy what you do. That is what makes these games fun. That is what makes playing the game fun. Do whatever you see fit. As long as you're having fun at the end of the day, that is what counts. But as always, you guys take care. Peace out.